Hello, beaders. Welcome to Beachside Bead Boutique. My name is Jerry. Today, I am super excited because things are going to get chaotic up in here. And I mean that in the best, most fun, kind of creative kind of way. We're going to make a very chaotic, random boho necklace. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you the items that I have here and we'll get started. So I do have some bandana, 2 strips, 2 different colors. I have some gold head pins. I have gold jump rings. I have round nose pliers, flush cutters, bent nose pliers, needle nose pliers. I have waxed cord. I have 2 wood rings. And I have 1 large lobster clasp. I have scissors and a ruler, and I have all the beads, all of them, from the Desert Blooms collection. I mean, there's everything but the kitchen sink here on my table, and I mean, probably the kitchen sink as well. I mean, like I said, things are going to get chaotic up in here. So I'm ready to get started. Let's go ahead and do it. So I did mention you will need a clipboard. Everything's on top of it, so I forgot. But yes, you will need a clipboard as well. Okay, so first we're going to start by taking the bandana strips. And I actually tore these they're about 2 inches wide. And I started cutting them and then I tore them the rest of the way up. So it's the full length of the bandana. And they're both pretty much the same length. I mean, the pink one is a little bit longer, but you know, that's okay. We'll just trim it down. And then go ahead and take a piece of wax cord, and I'm going to use this brown one in here. That's oh so nicely placed on this card. I mean, this is chaotic too. All right, as soon as I get this kind of organized here, now cut a nice length of piece. You want a piece longer than your bandana pieces. So you do want it slightly longer than that. Probably a couple inches longer. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'll be right back. I know you don't want to sit here and watch me, you know, untwist all this from this, all this mess here. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my wax cord cut. And we're going to go ahead and put these pieces together. And then I'm going to put my bandana cord and I'm going to take it up a couple of inches and let that hang out like that. But the bandanas, you want it to be even at the top because we don't want it too short at the bottom. We want it to go down to the same length or longer than the bandana. So you do want your cord longer at the bottom as well. But I'm going to leave it about like this. So that's probably about 3 or 4 inches hanging over. Okay, what we're going to do is take our wood ring, and I was going to paint this, but I just decided that I wanted this just to be all natural. I don't know, I like it, and you know, it's okay. Why not? Okay, so now we're going to tie our bandana and the cord, everything together. We're going to tie it to the ring. So it's not tied yet. We're just going to go ahead and tie this to the ring. Just tie a knot, pulling it all together. Just pull it tight. And we could put some glue on that when we're done as well to make sure it doesn't come apart. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take the ring and the bandana, and I'm going to stick it underneath the clip on my clipboard like that, so then it holds well. And we are going to, let me cut this. Okay, I'm going to cut this even at the bottom. but I'm going to still leave the cord longer. Okay, and then we're just going to braid this, but we're going to braid it, and then we're going to add some beads to the waxed cord. So go ahead and separate your cord. Let me get this one out the way so I don't incorporate that in my braid. So I'm going to cross over and cross over, and then I'm going to cross this one. And now I'm going to go ahead and add a bead to my wax cord. And this is just one of the beads from the Desert Bloom collection bundle. And then you're just going to go ahead and keep braiding it and adding beads to the wax cord when it gets to the middle. So now when the wax cord is in the middle, then we're going to add beads. And this is going to be a random beading. You know, I don't do any kind of specific pattern. And I want bigger beads for this part. Okay, now we're going to add a bead to our wax cord because it's in the middle. And then continue braiding. Okay, now add a bead. Make sure your cord is in a point because this is wax cord. It will easily form it to a point. Well, first you have to find the hole though. There we go. I really like these nugget beads. That is so earthy. Such a pretty color. Okay, add my bead. Bead. And I recently did a bead haul from Bead Box Bargains, which included the reveal of the Desert Blooms collection. So I will link that video for you so you can see the whole Desert Blooms collection. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have. And what I'm going to do is take my other wood ring and form a knot at the bottom. Make sure you get them all through there. And then take it down to where your braid stops. Go ahead and form my knot on my ring. There we go. And this is what we have. Something like that. Something like a braid. I mean, is it perfect? No. But is that okay? Yes. Go ahead and make this tight. So now we have a little braid with some beads throughout. Okay, I like that. Now, so that's one side of the necklace. So what we're going to do is take our clasp and a jump ring. So I'm going to take this jump ring right here. So this is a, say, 6mm. But I don't think it really matters what size jump ring you have. You're just going to put a jump ring on your lobster clasp. And I do not know where I got this lobster clasp from. I like the size because it's nice and big, so I know for sure it's going to grasp onto this wood ring, which, I mean, I already did try it to make sure, but yes, because smaller lobster clasp is not going to fit. So you need something bigger. And like I said, I don't know where I got this, but I will find some probably at Amazon and link it for you. And I probably need to get some for myself. Because I know I looked for a larger lobster clasp before as well. Okay, so you take your jump ring, and this is how you open and close a jump ring. So you want to go up and down. You never want to go out because that will ruin your jump ring. So now I'm going to put my jump ring on my lobster clasp and close this up. Make sure it is fully closed. Okay, and it doesn't really matter which is the top and which is the bottom. And I will measure this for you. Okay, my bandana piece, the full piece, measures probably about 13 inches. And then from ring to ring, it measures about 8 inches. And like I said, this is going to be the side, one side of the necklace. And now I could take my lobster clasp and attach it to the top ring. Okay, that's how I'm doing this. So this is going to go on the top. Actually, I have an idea. Okay, I had made some little charms already. So I made some like this. And I will show you how I did that. So I'm going to take some 20 gauge gold wire. Then I'm going to cut a piece. So you don't need it too big. You just want to put a couple of beads on it, but you are going to wrap the wire as well. So do a couple of inches. So about 4 inches, 3-4 inches. And then I'm just going to take, we'll smooth it out. So go ahead and take your nylon jaw pliers, which I didn't tell you you're going to need those. But yeah, if we're going to do some wire work, then grab some nylon jaw pliers. And I'm just going to straighten this wire out as best as I can. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You guys know my stuff is not neat and tidy, so it can be a little shabby. Okay, and now I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and I'm taking it down about 1 inch. And I'm going to form a loop at the top here, like that. And then I'm going to wrap this around the top. So the small wire is going over the large wire. I'm going to wrap it a couple of times, I guess as many times as it's going to go. And that looks about like it is all it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And I'm going to smash down any sharp edges. Now I refer to this as a chaos cluster. And I call it a chaos cluster because my jewelry is chaotic and it's a cluster. So As you could tell, I mean, it's not neat. I don't make neat wraps. I just kind of randomly make them, and how they form is how they form. That's the way that I like to do it. Then I'm just going to take some beads. So whichever beads that I want to use, you could use some smaller, some larger. Okay, that's good. So just that. It's fine with me. Okay, so now take your round nose pliers and take it up a little bit from the last bead, the top bead. And then we're going to create a loop here. So just take your wire on the bottom of the round nose pliers and then bend this back around. See, now we have a loop that's formed right there. And then just take your wire and haphazardly wrap it around that wire to tighten your loop up. So like that. Like I said, not neat. And that's my intention. Straighten your loop out some and then smash your wire down. Now I'm going to take some jump rings, and we need a jump ring large enough to fit on this wood ring. So hopefully this one will. And this jump ring is 10 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to take some of my jump rings and I'm going to attach this to the jump ring that we just attached to our wood ring. And then I'm going to attach one of my little clusters here and close this up. Like that. And now we're going to attach another one. And just make sure your jump rings are closed. Okay, let me see this. Okay, so this is what we have, and I'm going to leave this hanging for now. I don't know. I might just leave it because you guys know I like the shabby look. So, okay, let's go ahead and create another row of, yes, let's go ahead and create another row of beads down here. So we'll use 2 on each side. Okay, this is coming together. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you what I've got. There we go. Okay, so this is what we have. So this is one side of the necklace. So we got this done. Yes, I like this. Okay, beaders, what I did was I decided I'm going to wire wrap my bandana around the ring instead of tie it in the knot how it was. So I did take the knot out, and I'm going to take my piece of wire, and this is gold 20 gauge wire, and I cut this wire probably at about 8 inches. And I'm going to form a little coil at the very end. Make sure your end is pushed down so that there is nothing sharp. Okay, so I put the scrap pieces toward the back. And then I'm going to take my wire and just start wrapping. and that's right above the ring. I'm going to have to move this out of the camera so I don't hit the camera. And I'm just going to wrap it several times. Okay, now you can take your end and coil it down too. Actually, we can wrap one more time. There. All right, make sure it's tight. And there you go. And yeah, I like this better, definitely. Definitely like that better. Okay, and I'm going to leave the little stray pieces there because, you know, it adds to the shabbiness of it. Okay, yeah, I like that. And I like this. Okay, now we can create the top of the necklace and this side. And what I'm going to do for that is take my wax cord and we're going to string beads. So again, I'm going to take this brown mess here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this and I will be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to take my wax cord that I cut, and I did cut a very nice lengthy piece. I mean, I didn't measure it, but it is nice and long, but because we're going to fold it in half. And then since this is wax cord, I mean, it's probably going to fray a little bit on the edges as we're stringing, and we may have to cut some as we go, you know, to reform our point and get it, you know, easy to where the beads can go on. So that's why I cut an extra long piece as well, because by the time we get done, it's not going to be as long. So I do want to make sure that I have enough. So I would rather have more than enough. And then I'm going to take my cord back up to the section up here because it's not cut. Like I said, it's folded in half. So you should have a little loop like that at the very center of the cord. So I'm going to feed this loop through my jump ring. And then I'm going to take the remaining cord through that loop. Make sure you got both of them here. Okay. And then go ahead and pull the cord through all the way. And then pull that knot down. So just like that. Okay, so now we're going to create the rest of our necklace. And I'm going to string on both cords. You guys have seen me do this plenty of times. And I'm going to start with smaller beads at first. So, and this is just random stringing, so no particular pattern, no particular way. So you don't have to sit here and listen to me, you know, tell you, I'm going to string this bead, I'm going to string this bead. I mean, string whichever bead you want. Doesn't matter, there is no pattern to this. Now see, this is where the problem comes in because that bead won't go. So you need to form your cord. You need to cut it at a slight angle. I don't know if that was good because now it has a little shabby frayed end. Let's see. And then take your bead. But see, if you mold it, because it's wax cord, so it will mold into a little point. And that should help your beads go on easier as well. And some of these beads are probably not going to fit on this wax cord because the wax cord is thicker, but that's okay. We don't have to use them all because we'll just use them when we create some chaos clusters. So we're still going to use, you know, probably every bead. So I'm just going to take that down like that, and then I'm going to string some on the other side and just go back and forth. But I am starting out with the smaller beads. So we're just stringing like that. So on both cords. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue stringing on both cords. So just like this, whichever beads fit. If it doesn't fit, then don't worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for a few minutes, and I'll come back and show you what I have, show you the progress. Okay, so this is how we're looking so far. But we're not done yet. We still have to go a little ways more because I want this to be long. And it has to meet up with this when I put it around my neck, you know, to the length that I want. So yeah, it needs to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and continue stringing, and I will meet you back here. Okay, beaders. So this is what we have now. And I really like this. And you want to make sure that the ends are pretty close to even. So let me see here, make sure there's no gaps. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our cactus bead. Now put your cords together. Make sure it's a very fine point at the bottom. So put them together so that this can fit on our bead. And make sure you put your bead the right way. Let's see, so we want it to go like this. Now I'm sticking both cords through the hole. Hopefully it's gonna go. So far it's so good. Oh yeah, that's going. Oh, look at that. Okay, that was good. Now I'm going to take this down to my beads like that. Oh, that's cute. Okay, let me make sure this is even. This is so cute. I love that. That is really cute. Yeah, so that's going to be really cute on the side, going down the side. I love it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish stringing, and then I will come back and we should be almost done. All right, I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, you guys, you know what? I actually just went and tried this around my neck so I could see exactly how long it is, you know, and all that. And, you know, it is so stinking cute. I love this so much. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. So what I think I'm going to do, because I was going to take this down to here, but I think I'm going to tie this here. And then I'm going to leave this, and then we're going to put our pendant down here. Yeah, I think that will be fine because like I said, I tried it around my neck, and then that looks good. So we just tie it right here. Yes, and I love it. Wait till you see it. And I will show you the total, you know, the finished result. I'll show you how it looks around my neck so you will get the whole idea. But yes, I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and form a knot right here. So make sure your cords are even at the bottom. So now let's go ahead and put your cords together. And then I'm going to take my fingers right at the end of the beads, and I'm going to form a knot. So I'm going to take the cord around my fingers, and then I'm going to pull my fingers out and then pull the cord through the loop. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to go right inside that loop, right on top of the two beads there. So grab both of the cords and pull your knot down. And then go ahead and separate your cords. Pull your knot. Like I said, not too much. You want your beads to lay right, but you don't want a gap either. All right, I'm going to do one more. And of course, you know I will take some glue when I'm done and brush it on my knots. Okay, so we're going to take this end now, right where we tied the knot here. And we're going to tie this to a large jump ring. So just take your jump ring through the cords. Make sure your necklace is laying how you want it to. So make sure everything is in place correctly. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and form a knot up here. Make sure your jump ring is going to be inside the loop. So you want to move your jump ring down a little bit. And then I'm placing my fingers and I'm going around my fingers and then I'm creating the loop. Now see, the jump ring is inside the loop. You want to tie the jump ring inside the loop. And now I'm taking my knotting tweezers right through that loop and right on top of the last knots and pull this down. Okay, so now we have our jump ring tied to our cord, and I'm going to separate my cord and pull the knot down. Now we're going to go ahead and attach this jump ring to our ring here. Make sure you close that good. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and, so cute, put the charm on the bottom here, a couple charms. So we're going to use this pendant, and we may use, let's see, one of these cactuses. This looks like a pink and green cactus explosion. It looks so fun. And I'm going to go ahead and attach my charms to the bottom ring, and I'll come back and show you what I have. Okay, this looks cute. Okay, and here's what we have down here. I know for sure I'm going to put some beads on this cord that's up at the top. So on the top ring, I'm going to add some beads to this cord. You know, I like a little, side dangle around the neck. I mean, we have this already, which I am leaving. But I think that's just cute when you have something on the side, because you don't normally just see that. I mean, everybody worries about the front there. So what about the side? So we're going to add some beads to that. Okay, we can go ahead and tie this now. For a cord is too short and then it's very hard to tie. All right, let me make one more knot. Okay. All right, so here is our little dangle with our little side pieces here. And like I said, I'm going to leave that. Just add some, character to the necklace. We need to add some chaos clusters to the bottom here. I'm going to add 2 chaos clusters to 1 jump ring. Okay, so we have two more little charms, chaos clusters that I'm going to put on my ring here. And we are just about done. And all the supplies that I use to make this, I will link in my description box. Of course, you know this bead kit was from Bead Box Bargains. So I will list Bead Box Bargains in my description box. And then the items that I use, so the bandana, the jump rings, these little rings. So everything that I could find, I will link in my description box. Okay. All right, guys, that should be it. Let me hold this up so I can get a look at it. Let me go ahead and get rid of this cord. I'm going to take my glue. You guys know I use brush on glue. And I'm going to brush it on my knots before I cut the cord. Brush it really good on my knots, all my knots. Any knot that I made, I'm going to brush a little bit of glue on it. It will just help secure it and keep it in place so that it doesn't come loose over time. I mean, I hope that it doesn't, for sure. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut my cords now. And I'm going to cut it and leave a little bit because I'm going to fray the end. I don't want to cut it too close to the knot. So I'm going to take my tweezers and then just separate the fibers in the cord. Okay. I'll do the same thing with this one. And then up here. Okay, beaders. This is super, super cute. Okay, beaders. Well, actually, we are going to do one more thing, and that is this cactus cutout. I forgot that I wanted to add that, so I'm going to add that right here on this ring, and then we will be done. Okay, beaders, well, here is the finished necklace. I absolutely love this. I mean, it's fun, it's random, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's all the things that I love. So I am really, really happy with this. I love the addition of the braided bandana with the beads and the cute cactus bead with the little clusters at the bottom. It is so cute. But you guys tell me what you think and what is your favorite thing about this necklace. And please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel for more messy boho, chaotic jewelry tutorials, and bead unboxing videos. And remember, let's keep it messy, let's keep it boho, and as always, let's keep beading. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.